Beastly Lady of Port Hemlock, Part C, copyright October 22nd, 2008. In a flat voice, he replied, they had planned to rip my dress off, let my long golden hair tickle over my beautiful red nipples, make love to me, and crawl into my womb to be reborn as beautiful golden-haired women just like myself and the Ice Queen. That shut me up for a few seconds, and I wondered about just what kind of young, strong sexual vibes I and the Ice Queen seemed to be pumping out unknowingly. Then I undid my hair ribbon, tossed it carelessly to the ground, and swung my head to let my long, flaming gold hair unwind itself to my knees. Then I turned my attention to the bully and permitted him to seduce me as best he could. He promptly fell on his knees and began reciting an ancient German love ballad about the beauty of my lips, my eyes, my two bouncing red ripe apples, and the sweet scent of my goddess figure. It was very flattering, so I acted that I was Queen Elizabeth and he was Sir Raleigh. The tranced young man immediately took off his coat and placed it on the dirt in the path before me. I giggled and told him I was Cleopatra and he was my Mark Antony. And so we play acted for the next 10 minutes, whilst I decided if I was woman enough to want to do it, and whether the fact I was female meant I automatically went into copulation with the males who tried to seduce me. I was beginning to perspire even more and realized what I did in the next hour or two would set me on a course that would mark the life path my transmuted soul would take. So whilst two of my male slaves stood guard, the third, the bully who'd most tortured me when I was a guy, tenderly unclosed me whilst attempting to be the tender, intelligent lover I willed him to be. We both lay naked on the soft grass, and I felt at his manhood, wondering if I really wished to order him to make heaven to me. I didn't. The man I allowed to enter between my legs would have to be worthy of having me. However, I was not beyond engaging in sexual foreplay, and so I and my bullish Casanova spent the next half hour exploring, caressing, and kissing the rest of me. Finally, however, my passion cooled and my need for revenge was what remained. It seemed likely that they would remember this night supernatural events which could be dangerous for me. So the cold-hearted, practical side of me came to the fore, the beastly side. I looked up and saw the moon pouring streamers of magical energy at me. Once that moon slipped below the horizon, the three male monsters would be back, remembering what I'd done to them, and probably hasten my exit from this world. I got myself dressed and ordered the three zombies to follow me, my lead, to the Waldy's blacksmithy, and on the forge I heated the mini falchion and the stiletto red hot. I could tell the three good boys were struggling to break free of my icy iron grasped will on their bodies, so I struck swiftly with a shish, shish, and a shish. I applied the two red-hot instruments of vengeance to their eyes and blinded them. Their electrostatic engineering careers were now as dead as mine own, and perhaps deader. The shock of being blinded for life seemed to bring them back under my thrall, so I led three blind boys, holding onto the rope halter I pulled along, back to the gate of the Akbar Canadian Agricultural College, where I left them. I then fled back into the girls' residence and made my excuses for my absence and the sudden departure of our three male guests. I could tell that I'd passed whatever test the Ice Queen had set me up for. The gathering quickly wound down as midnight appeared and the girls began leaving the party in twos or threes. When it was my turn to leave, the Ice Queen remarked that my flaming red gold hair looked more beautiful than ever, and I ought to leave it unbound more often. Then she clasped something into my palm, closed up my hand into a fist, and sent me on my way. I opened my fist and looked at what my mentoring feminine femme fatale had placed there. It was my hair ribbon, which I'd carelessly left on the ground after my romancing with the bully had ended. I expected the sheriff would come to the girl's residence the next day to arrest me for the blinding of the three young men. If the Ice Queen had easily discovered evidence of what I'd done behind the girls' dorm, it seemed likely I'd left other evidence at the Waldy's blacksmithy, at the gate to the agricultural college, and in the paths in between. However, no such policy came to lynch me for my crimes, and nor did I hear from or about the three men I had unknowingly magicked blind when I destroyed their mortal eyesight with the stiletto and the mini falchion. At that point, I still didn't realize that when the Ice Queen had me drink her greatly diluted beastly lady blood whilst I was in a fine, furious rage, the result had been my transformation into a lady, with the beastly part of me shortly to come out of at a later date. When one of the three men I'd enthralled tried to assassinate me with one of the magic knives I'd forged in Waldy's blacksmithy shop, that fateful night in 1837 Upper Canada. That and my further adventures as both the beast or the lady, however, will have to wait for another time.